you would get revoked, you'd go and do like 90 days and come right back. So I think he was going back to prison and then coming back again.
He had mental illness. Huh?
Yeah, he had mental illness now. Then I looked, there was something going on, dude. But $5 was getting dished out. So we didn't know. There was no... No one died. No. Who did you know back in when we were in school that had autism? How many kids? 0.
Me?
No, I mean, but no.
I had ADHD.
But it was never diagnosed?
No.
Not one kid.
We were diagnosed.
Well, they weren't diagnosed, just like the depression.
No, we were
back
lucky.
then.
We were
We
lucky
didn't have
because
a
we had
title.
retarded kids.
Yeah,
and so we didn't have to worry about. We knew what the situation was, and that's what they were diagnosed. They were like, he's retarded or has Down syndrome or whatever you want to call it, you know. And that's
it's ID now. They call it ID, intellectually disabled. And my son has that.
But if you look at someone,
but they don't look. They
you
don't
can tell
look
the
like they're.
difference.
Yeah, you can see it.
If
now.
you beat someone up that's got Down syndrome, or you beat someone up that has autism, you at least have an excuse or a way out with autism.
Right.
You ain't gonna be like, you beat this, you didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't.
You know with the others. So we knew back then, but there was no autistic kids.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I got 2 nephews that are autistic. You know, my brother's 2 sons.
Maybe it's the chemicals in the food.
He went to war.
Chemicals in the food.
He went to war, came back.
Chemtrails.
One of his sons was autistic.
A little bit of everything.
Went to war, came back, had another one.
Maybe
autistic.
because people's parents do stupid stuff like wrestle the geese.
and not touch the penis. I don't know.
This dude is really. He wants to.
But tell us the truth. Did you or did you not?
But
I'm joking, Edward.
I know you did.
I know you did. In my heart, you
I
did.
don't believe anything you say. There was some penis touching going on.
Something happened.
Toca la
back then
pinga.
that's
As they say in
not being
Cuba.
said.
Toca la pinga.
Toca la pinga.
But no, but I mean, but it's just
Well, you
weird
survived
that
that,
it's so
dude.
prevalent
The crazy
right now.
thing is that you go through those things, and a lot of other kids went through that, but they survived that. They survived that behavior with other people that should have never happened, but it was there.
And they're scarred
you
for
knew that-
life
yeah, you're
over
scarred
it.
for life. Some people take
that's
it to
another thing.
heart.
Here I go. I'm going to say something that's probably going to upset a lot of people. And I'm not saying that it's not a real thing because I know it is. But PTSD, more people than ever claim PTSD at this time because you can get paid for it, because there's a benefit. If there was no benefit, like if you said, well, if you say you have PTSD, you can lose all your benefits. You know how no one would have fucking PTSD anymore. It'd be something else.
Right.
But a lot of people like to milk that PTSD because they went through a tough situation. I get it. Some people do. You go to war and you come back, or you go through a situation, prison, you know, a marriage, whatever it is, you know, a car wreck or whatever. And you have, you know, I believe it's a real thing that some people get shattered by. But I've been through a lot of fucking bullshit and I never had it. My little brother's been to every war and he's never got it. And I think a lot that comes with it, you got to try to be strong. But at first, because what I see is some people that seem like they're not trying.
Well, you were
to
taught
be
how to
better.
cope.
Right.
I wasn't even taught how to cope. I just decided that I need to teach myself how to cope if I'm going to be doing stupid shit.
It's just that generation that we're in right now, that younger generation.
Social media?
Yeah, social media, the cell phone. When we go back to bullying, that social media right there is
follows
24
you
We used to
home.
get bullied in school or be the bully in school for
But a lot of people
8
commit
hours or
suicide
5
over
hours. Yeah, but now you got this 24-hour deal, social media right here on
They
your
have
phone.
the video of you getting your ass beat.
That's right. You
That's
have a
it,
video,
yeah.
and that breaks you down more than
Yeah,
anything. Or you getting
dude.
slapped in the face by somebody.
Because if you know,
That hurts more than anything, dude.
the worst we had back then is if you shit your pants in school.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that saw it,
And what's your name? What's your name? Is
And talked
after
about
that
it. So yeah, shit pants. Shit pants.
See, but then what if
whatever
your
it is,
shit
it's not
pants-
good
for the rest of your life?
for the rest of your life. But imagine if it was on video. At least
So,
you could
yeah.
say only everyone in the classroom saw it, and the people that saw you run down the hallway,
Right.
or
It's
whatever.
a legend.
And that's it.
Yeah. Then
This-
you go off to
you're
college. You
immortalized.
go off to college, and nobody knows who you are, and they're
Yeah,
never going
that's
to hear that.
it. And you could, never move out of the city and go. Now it follows you. You get on YouTube, and your shitty pants has followed you for the rest of your life, dude.
Yep, for
and that's
life.
horrible.
No, the question to you is, if we ever go to war again, can you picture us winning that war with a rifle, if it's against China, with the generation that we got now?
Yes, because you see how fucking hotoed out they are over in China with all their fucking panda bear faggoty shit they're doing with fucking Pokemon and that BTK or what's that fucking
I don't know.
group?
When I watch
What's
videos
that
of
group
China,
that's
I
going
see.
around? No, you don't know. We got that. Our secret weapon is that group that goes around singing a little faggoty music. What are those sissies called?
You talking about K-pop? They're Korean.
Yes, those dudes.
Who are those? I don't even watch that, guy.
That's our Trojan horse that went in there turning them all into a
They're
bunch
Korean.
of bitches.
They're
I've
not
never
Chinese.
seen
It don't matter.
No, China,
They're
the
all
great
over the place
republic
over
that
there.
has that
I know
army.
I
Have you
sound
seen
really
that army
bad.
that they
We're gonna get
have?
some negative
Yeah.
comments
They've got
over
this army that's millions of people.
They
And
have-
our army has backpacks, and they got their switch, and they got their ADHD.
But they all have to walk like that.
Yeah, hey, but they walk like that with their weapons, and they're ready to fight.
They
We
have-
don't know. I don't know if I want to go.
Is that the way that
That's
you
too
think
much
the
work.
battle's going to go down?
That's what I think our new generation is, and we're more technologically, we're smarter, I think, and our kids are more savvy. They could probably outgame the Chinese guy. But you think about it, the Chinese guy developed the game. So I think if
That
we ever
sounded
have
like
to go to
racist
war
like a
again,
motherfucker there.
yeah, I think if we ever have to go to war like Vietnam or World War One, World War
Why
II,
Vietnam?
because that was a battle on the ground. I don't think
Okay.
we could win a ground battle.
We're not going to. There's buttons now that people are going to
There's
press.
buttons,
now.
but
That's
we
it, dude.
send troops first. That's the thing we do. We send troops first. And that's just my insight on that. That's what I think because of the generation that we're creating, the one that everybody has to get a trophy.
So you think the kids are just soft now?
I think they're soft. I think they're very soft. And I see it. I go to a lot of schools in San
He's
Antonio.
got young kids.
Yeah. I've got young kids. My son is 10 and my daughter's,
Do you
oh
think
no,
they're
my son's
soft?
12, my daughter's 10. And they're soft. They're very soft.
Sissified?
It's just the way I think I haven't done my job as a good dad to
There's
make
no
sure
spanking.
that they go. There's no spanking, but I don't force them to run outside and climb trees, break windows, stuff like we did growing up.
Do
you
they
know,
cut the yard? You don't even have them do that.
no,
You're scared for
I
them
got,
to be
I got
around
to ride a
lawnmower.
lawnmower. Yeah, I got to ride a lawnmower. I do it. My son is smart, but he has ID, intellectually disabled, but he has autism, but he's smart. He's the guy will get on a computer and blow you away.
That's the new
my
thing. 'cause
daughter,
new
dude.
thing,
My
yeah.
daughter is the sharpest tool in the shed, dude. She is sharp. She's going on 10, and she is just with it, dude.
That's how you win
There
because
you
if you both go to war, it's mutual destruction.
Yeah.
But if I can go in and take down your businesses and
Yeah,
through social media destroy you from within with your
Within.
own people,
yeah.
then that'll be because
Yeah.
they have like 30%. They have 30% more males than females. So if
Right.
you have that many more males that are never going to get married or find a woman or doing, what do? You send them to war.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were turning into hortos.
Shit.
But yeah, there is a lot of softness. I think there's a lack of effort.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I can't do it.
It's,
That's it.
yeah, well,
If
you know,
just tell them
we gotten so busy, dude. Our parents have gotten so busy that their lives are inundated with work. You know, you're living, you're paying
But
bills.
my parents were busy, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, they're busy, but kids don't want to get out of the house, and it's hard for me to
We play
force my
tag.
kids to get out. No, they go out and
We played tag. We went outside and played
Yeah.
tag. And
nobody
it was
plays
dead.
tag anymore. Green light, red light. What was
Yeah,
that called?
red-
I'd run down the
Yeah.
street to the park by myself.
Yeah.
I will not let my kids
Right.
play in the front yard
Exactly.
without
See?
me in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're softening them up.
Yeah.
We left and there was no phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't want my son wrestling the geese.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Do you know what it did? It toughened me up.
Yeah.
he doesn't need that toughening up.
Yeah.
And he-
The Geese has an email address now, and a social media page.
You know what he does? He bullies him online.
Yeah,
and
he'll
stuff.
get him
He takes his
online.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah, when they're playing, what is that
Beating
called?
him out.
Fortnite. He's already Fortnite as a little kid. The Geese.
Well, it's
See,
like
what
it's do you have time to put them in stuff? Like I put my kids, they were in taekwondo,
Yeah.
and
dancing.
anti-geese stuff.
Yeah, so and then you know what I mean. When you get home, it's
How old are
like
your kids?
8 and 5.
8 and 5. Yeah, those are the ages where you got to capture their attention.
Yeah,
and put them on.
their
I got a
tablet has
13-year-old
timers.
granddaughter that
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with, man, and there's all these apps. She's always on her phone,
Yeah.
dude, and it's scary, dude. And I get her, and I have her, and I see she's on her phone. I'm like, who are you messaging? You know, and sometimes she puts the phone away, and she's 13.
Yeah.
I get it. You know, what am I gonna do? I'm a grandpa.
Yeah,
You know, I can't check some little 13-year-old boy that's whatever texting her, and
Right.
I don't know what to do.
there's a
anymore, bro.
baby on the phone.
Yeah, one time, my son came over with her, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Hey, man, let me talk to you real quick." And my son pulls me aside, and I tell her, "Hey, go get something, whatever, from the kitchen." He's like, "Hey, man, she started a period, dude." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "She started a period, dude." And I was like, "What do we do? Do we go buy a gun, or what the fuck? Do I call a friend? Like, do I get some homeboys over here? We gonna go fuck someone? What do we do? Like, I don't know. What do we do?"
We're gonna fuck somebody
Yeah,
up.
it's like, she needs to go to the store and get something. I was like, I told Veronica, I was like, "Hey, what do we do? Like, what do we do?" And she was like, "I'll take her to the HEB," you know. And I didn't know what to do.
Right,
like,
right.
And here I'm, I've never had a daughter. I had 2 sons, you know.
Yeah,
And I don't know what to do.
It's crazy. It feels like just last year, you start thinking about it. We were teenagers, man, and time goes by like that, and you grow up, and you have to make decisions that are going to affect your kids and your kids' life and their kids' life.
But you're
Man, we're all
raising-
grown up, dude.
I had my sons a long time ago. My son's going to be 32 this month, and the other one's going to be 30
Wow,
next
man.
month.
You're a dad for a long time.
I loved it. I can't even remember.
You're a
not
better
being
dad now than you were when he was.
Oh, definitely.
5,
I was
6
a
years
kid
old.
raising a kid.
That's
I didn't
it.
know what I was doing. I went to prison. I was gone for a big time. You know, his stepdad raised him. Hey,
Yeah.
man, you know, good for
Props
him.
to
man.
him, right? Yeah.
Props to him, bro. Like, I wasn't there. He did whatever he did, and they're still here. You know,
Yeah.
now the choices they're making now aren't the best ones, but that's up to them now.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That
I
happened
can't
to me,
blame that dude
right?
or whatever, but my ex likes to blame me for everything, and I was like, "Well, you weren't there," and I was like, "Well, hold up, I
Right.
wasn't there. You were there. So who was the
Right,
problem,
right.
me or you?"
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it was my fault for leaving. Whatever, I can't. Hey, what are you laughing at? Over
Because
there?
when he said, "Hey, I wasn't there," so it's
Yeah.
you, obvious.
My cash, you had my money.
Yeah, but
you had my money.
the way you said I wasn't there made it seem like I was helping the poor out there.
No,
And you're like,
but
I
it's
was
a
in prison.
double-edged sword
Yeah,
because they'll say,
I was
you
at
know,
church.
I
Yeah.
get it. No, I fucked up and I went to prison, and she left me and moved on. But then when I get back, she likes to throw it in my
Yeah.
face and say, "Well, you weren't there." And I'm like, yeah, I
that's
wasn't
hard,
there, so don't blame me that's how they are when you were there, and maybe that's why that's how they are.
Right.
You know, did you teach them that, or was it because there was no one to teach them that? Which one was it?
Right.
You know, I don't know, but they are doing what they're doing. So don't just. I'm not telling you that's why they're like that, but when you throw it at me, that's my defense. Is to say, well, hold up,
Yeah.
let's look at it from the other perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not. Maybe.
Maybe you should be. Maybe it's a combination. I think it's probably
maybe
a
it's little bit
combination.
of both of us. Maybe this one's fucked up because of me, and that one's fucked up because of you. I don't know. You know, we had two of them. We went 50-50, and we
There you
we
go.
crapped
We
out,
both
I
did
think.
our job. We fuck up our
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna.
We
I
both-
think everybody fucks up their kids because they don't mainly because they don't know that they're fucking them up
My
at the
parents
time.
didn't fuck me up, bro. I cannot. My parents did not fuck me up at all. I cannot ever say that, dude. When I went to prison, I went for decisions that I made on my own from hanging around with friends that were doing crazy shit, and I was caught up in the mix,
Yep.
wanting to show out more than the next guy. That
Right.
went and took some shit, and it looked cool at the time, and because he got to reap the benefits of showing it out, and all the chicks going, "Oh, he's so cool," and running around with him, and I went, "Fuck." But me, I want some shit quick without fucking working
Right.
for it, you know, and I want to show out and girls would pay attention to me. You know, I was always a skinny little dude that,
Right.
you know, it wasn't like all the chicks were on me because I was all built and fucking studly, you know, so.
Well, it's
and
not
had money.
necessarily going down that route, but I'm saying like, okay, every time that you feel sad, your mom goes gets you ice cream. Now, when you're older, you're big because your coping mechanism is I need, you know, Rocky Road ice cream. So it's a bad habit taught without even the thought process of this is something that could affect them negatively.
I mean, yeah, you don't think that. I never thought like shit that I remember now that my dad maybe like see, I'm not blaming my dad for anything, but like just an event like where he yelled at me for something. I remember this one specifically that I went to my neighbors and they had been playing with the water hose or something, and I sat on a fucking chair, and I remember my dad saying, because he saw them playing with the water hose, that I better not get wet, that I better not play with the water hose. And I said, okay. And I didn't, but I sat down on a fucking thing and my shorts got wet. Just the bottom part got wet. Well, when I went back home and my dad said, "Did you go play with the water hose?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Come here, let me see your shorts." And he felt the wet, and I got fucking hit with the belt for that. And I must have been 7, 8 years old. I still remember that shit. Like, I was mad. Like, he fucking didn't even give me a chance to.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird that I remembered that. But I'm sure there's shit that I did that my sons remember now. But the way
Right.
they carry it as a tool to say, this is why. What? I don't know what the fuck you're laughing at, you piece of shit.
I'm thinking of something after that because
But-
you said hose, and my dad, I remember telling me when I was like 6 years old, "Don't stick your dick in the hose," and I'm like, I wasn't even thinking that. Why would I stick my dick in the hose?
I know, but there's
But it made
something
me
that's-
think:
yes.
Did you stick your
You
dick
did.
in the hose?
Yeah, when you were
I have a
little.
friend that stuck his dick in the hose. He's never been the same. You know,
Yeah,
They call him
that's
hose
why I
dick
was
now,
smiling.
You know, but
Yeah.
and not for a good reason. But you know, just shit. But because I've heard my kids tell other people that the reason they're like this because they saw me fight with my ex-wife when we were kids and shit like that. I'm like, you know what? I saw my dad fight with my mom. Everyone's gonna fight. I don't know what relationship doesn't have a fight. There's that one going on, they're cycles. There's 2 cycles in that house, you know. And so if you kids see it, but now they carry it as an excuse to say this is why I'm like that. Back then you just said, eh.
Well, it could be a flip of a coin because it could be the one who's a drunk because their father was a drunk,
I
or
know.
I don't drink because
I
my
know,
father.
but there was more of the us what we went through, and we just said, you know, I'm not blaming my dad for any of that. That's what went on in our household, and now I'm here, and blah blah blah. But then now we had kids, and now our kids are going, no, well, I'm like this now because of what y'all did.
Right.
I saw y'all doing this.
They call you out.
Yeah, because you can't whoop your kids anymore. You can't spank your kid, and they can call 911 on you. We couldn't call 911 on our parents. You know what would fucking happen if we called 911?
Cops would come beat you.
Oh, dude, they would show up, and our parents would go have a talk, and you'd be sitting there waiting to hear what they fucking decided on your fate, dude. And yeah, fuck no. And then you'd be grounded forever. Like I got grounded up until probably 19.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to get. You can't ground your kid now. It's 16, bro.
You take their phones away. You take their iPhone,
and you don't even take it away for that long anymore.
Yeah.
You don't.
We try, and they find it,
and you feel guilty. You feel like a piece of shit.
It's because we're soft parents. Now we're soft.
My dad was like Zorro, bro. He could get his belt off.
Oh yeah.
Like quick as a motherfucker, dude. And I would get whack at the like.
Yep.
He used to make me go out in the yard and pick a stick. You know, and it wasn't like he would beat the shit out of me, but I got a good.
Hey, were we the timeout generation? Is that us? What generation?
No, millennials were the first ones that I think that started doing.
I didn't get timeout.
No. What did we get? Chingasos.
Grounded.
We got chingasos and then grounded, and that was it.
I got what? You got hit with the belt,
right?
And you got all right with the stick.
We still got that.
And then after us,
we got paddled in school still.
Right.
Yeah, that stopped when I was in 8th grade.
We got paddled in school still. And then, we got the stick, and you got the belt, and you got grounded.
Yeah.
And some people got just straight chingazos.
And that's completely gone now. But now these kids are having big old fights in school, the 10-second fights in the restrooms, and nobody could do anything. Teachers are getting punched in the face.
The kids are hitting them back now.
Yeah, the kids are punching.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest behavior that's happening in all these schools, dude. The 10-second fight. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever seen that?
Did they film it or what?
Oh, they film it. All the kids get together and they go into the restroom and they throw chingazos for 10 seconds.
Like all of them together or just two kids?
No, there's two kids that agree to fight. Okay, blah, 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 blah. But they're filming it. And then after that, the next two kids. Blah, blah, blah.
That's actually a good...
That's the thing that happens.
Well, actually, that's pretty smart because, you know how it's just 10 seconds, it's done. We squashed it. And then that they get the next couple around and do that. Yeah. That's pretty smart.
Let's keep promoting, dude. Whoever's promoting those wrestling fights.
And they film it just in case. Like, hey, you know, we got evidence here.
Yeah, no, they're filming it to make their page go higher and make their popularity go up. It's all about being popular.
Bro, and they know, you know what's crazy? But I mean, they have access to everything.
But what they're doing is they're capturing that little nerd, the kid that's getting his ass whooped and getting bullied day in and day out by these kids. Say, hey, he's a target. Let's tear him up, and just going back to what I see.
What do you do though, man? What do you do? I just recently heard there's a situation that someone's kid is going through that they've been getting bullied. They've been going to school, and someone's either been beating them up or threatening to beat them up. And I think they're like 12 or 13 years old, or maybe even 14 or 15. I think they might be freshman or sophomore, and they don't know the parents don't know what to do. Right. What do you do?
There's protocols out there. Every school district in San Antonio has a bully program or a bully protocol. You got to report it to certain people.
But don't they get bullied for going and being a snitch?
They do. But this is what now you have a thing called David's Law. The guy that's
a kid that
killed himself, suicide. David's Law is a tool that parents have that they can utilize to stop that bully behavior. Do you know that a kid getting bullied from another kid, they got to call the parent, the district, the school has to call the parents within 72 hours. It's a law. 72 hours, you got to call both parents. If it continues, they can get a restraining order now on that kid, and now it gets prosecuted to law. Yeah, they go to court.
No matter what age?
No matter what age. You could be a 5th grader. And
really?
Yeah. So that little kid could get a record on his history, and it's a criminal record of being a bully. And it's a big deterrent, but parents don't know how to use these tools that they got, man. I get a lot of parents.
They're scared to use them.
Yeah. On my website, I've got a little guideline.
What is your website?
It's called USA Bully Free. Or you can go to sabullyfree.com and you can pick up our page and take a look at what we're doing in the community. But I get a lot of parents that call me. Hey, my son just committed suicide, and this is what happened. And those are those calls that you don't like to hear and you don't want to hear. So I share those experiences with other parents that are calling me, and they tell me, hey, my daughter's getting picked on. She's been picked on for 4 years already, and this is all the information I got, but they're not listening to me. There's certain things that you got to do as a parent to protect your kids.
Okay, run them down. What would you do?
What would I do?
My son comes home. My son comes home from school and says, "Dad, this kid keeps messing with me. I've told him I don't want to fight. He's a pretty big dude. I know. I mean, I could fight him, but he's gonna beat my ass.
First
He
thing
keeps
you
calling
do,
me
this
a
is the
punk
first
in front of
thing. Once you
girls.
get that information from your kid, is send an email to the school district.
Okay.
Not the school.
Send an
The
email. I don't have a computer
okay,
at home.
no,
I'm,
this is-
I'm on the
you-
west side and I don't have a computer. What do I do?
You got to do a paper trail. This is the thing. You can talk to people till you're blue in the face, and they're going to deny it at the end. But if you send an email, and this is, you got to find email access.
Go to the library.
Yeah, go to the library, send an email, send it to the Northside Independent School District, right? You send it to them, copy the principal, the assistant or vice principal from the school, and they'll be on it like that. No school district wants to hear that there's bully behavior going on in the school. At that point, they're legally obligated to go in there and find out what's going on. If you call them and you leave a voicemail at the school, hey, my kids, they're not going to return the call.
They could say they never heard it.
They never heard the call. And that's the sad thing about it. Teachers, school districts, schools, they're desensitized. This behavior is running rampant all over, not just San Antonio, but all over the nation.
Yeah.
So and I see it when I go to schools, they're desensitized to bully behavior because
just
it's
happens
happening.
so much
It's
that we
happening
can't
so much.
stop it, huh?
It's hard to stop it. Yep. But once you hit that school district with an email and then you copy the principal requesting a meeting at the school district or at the school, they've got to respond to you. A huevo. That means they're forced.
Egg. That means an
That's
egg.
an egg. They're forced to communicate with that parent. And if you, like I said, if you just call in and try to make something happen, it's not going to happen. Send those documents where you can have backtrack and you can bring them out. If you have to go to court and you have everything, hey, this is what I've done so far to protect my kid, my child. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you have to have that documented, you got to have a journal. Okay, my daughter told me on this date, this time, this girl took her phone, has been doing social media bullying on her.
Yeah, it's a lot of that shit, right?
You know, you got to keep track of everything that's happening. So when you go to the district and you sit down and you talk to them, you have all your ducks in a row.
Sounds like you're getting a divorce.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting divorced. But nowadays you have to have the legal facts because they're not going to listen to you.
Everything.
You got to document. That's
because if
the
they're
key.
going to remove another kid from school
Yeah.
for these accusations, the other parent's going to be like, "Where the fuck?"
Right. And I've seen cases where people just make up stories.
Yes, that's
and they eliminate a student, and he should have never been
They might
eliminated.
just not like someone because they're dating a girl, and they want
So it's a
that guy
catch-22,
gone.
but-
Imagine that. Like if you see
yeah.
this dude, and you're like, "I want Mr. Studley gone."
Yeah. Right now, I got a call from a guy out in New Braunfels. His son's been getting beat up since he was in elementary school, and his son's in middle school now. It went away. He's prosecuted. He's gotten attorneys. He's won cases. They've expelled students out of the school that he was at, but now he's in middle school. So he's going from elementary to middle school, and now it's happened again. It's 2 years later. So now he showed me a video of his son getting beat up, and I said, what do I do? I said, man, you got to go after him. You got to go after the school district. You got to go after the kid to personally hold him and his parents responsible. Once you hold them responsible, they have to do something, and they go after you financially now. It's not just they give you a slap on the wrist, just put him in jail or alternative centers. They go after the parents for cash.
The parents better get their kids
Now,
straight
is
now.
that now? Before you said kids are soft. Is this part of the reason why kids are soft? Because what dads usually say is, "Hey, this is how you fight. You,
Right.
you
Last
hit them
resort.
back."
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with protecting yourself, and I tell this to my son. Everything's cool until somebody throws a punch and hits you in the face. Then you wipe everything off. So you turn around from whatever they're saying to you. Let me know about it. Let your mom know. Let the teachers know about it. But if somebody physically grabs you, it's on. And that's where I think the boxing tool that we had growing up was a good piece of tool you had to defend yourself. Because right now kids don't know how to throw a punch. My son, I tell him, hit that punchy bag. Misses it. No, you got to learn how to throw a punch. So we got a bag now.
They don't even want to throw
And my
a punch.
son, I have a bag on a tree out there, and I've been telling him to hit it every day. Now he can throw a punch. He knows timing. He knows how to hit. That's just in case you have to defend yourself.
Well, your specialty is teach them how to throw a slap. Because I've seen your slap fights.
No.
But
It's a geese fighting.
But I mean, that's so scary. Like, I mean, if you're kidding, what do you do? Like, I know a parent wants to go over there and go to the school themselves.
Oh, that's another part of the criteria. It says
and
I tell every parent that calls me, they're fastidiado, they're upset, they're screaming, they're yelling. I said, the first thing you got to do is keep it cool. I said, you cannot go into any school district or any school office and start yelling. Once you start yelling, they close the door, and that's it.
You're a threat to the school.
Done.
Yeah, you're going to look like the crazy person.
And what's going to happen is your kid's not going to get protected. So you got to walk in there with a witness for one. You walk in with a witness, but you have to keep a cool head, and you have to make sure that you're having whatever you're saying documented by the witness.
Yeah.
You let them know this person here is going to document whatever we're talking about. So that's your witness.
So that's those steps, that protocol is for like any school district, San Antonio Independent School
Yeah,
District.
any school district in Comal County, Bandera County,
Antonio.
any school that's in the United States.
Okay.
But Texas has one of the biggest, strictest laws against bullying in the United States.
And it's crazy. You got to be scared. You know, mass shootings are back again.
Yep.
Did you see that? There was another one, I think, last night.
Another one last night?
I think there was another one. But yeah, they're back. There's already been like 3 or 4 in the past week, man. Like, we're back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
We're back to normal. And that's scary, man, because the schools are
Those
in
are
and
easy
out
targets,
again,
man.
man.
Easy
And
targets.
now there's only so many kids in school, you know.
Well, you get to a point. This whole pandemic has put these kids in a bubble where this is our world that we're living in, and you can't force me to do anything else. But when you put them back into an environment with a lot of other kids, these kids have been on Fortnite. They've been on all these video games that
reality's kind of
they're
warped.
superpower. Yeah, they're superpower, and they think they can do that when they go back to school, and that's not the case. And I'm thinking about elementary, middle school, but when you get to high school,
I don't know.
you hopefully grow out of that. But I've seen bullying going on in ninth grade or 10th grade. You have freshman and sophomore years, but when you hit junior, senior years, you're kind of grown up already, and you're out of that.
I don't even know where kids are now.
Middle school is the toughest year, dude. I've done pep rallies at elementary schools. They get it. Their brains kind of developing, and then you get into the middle school years. Man,
everybody's going through puberty.
Yeah, they're going through puberty, and they're trying to impress people. They're trying to.
Yeah,
they're very
peer pressure is a big deal,
influential. You influence them a lot. These kids are just. Man, they're just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Elementary school, we do skits and we do pep rallies and they dance. And
They're
they get
all about.
excited.
They're not embarrassed by anything.
No, right. The 6th graders, they'll do it. 7th graders, 8th graders,
They're
oh
trying
no,
to look
man!
cool for the
You got to
little
force
girls.
them to get up there to dance and do part of the pep rally. The pep rally that I do when I go to schools, man, is powerful, dude. Because I show Robert's image, I show his lifestyle, what he did in the community, and then boom, I hit him with the reality of hate, envy, jealousy, what it did in our community, how this guy took our community away from us.
Yeah.
And I have them do the anti-bully oath at the end, man, where they make a commitment to their community that they're not going to be hateful and stop hate. And I think we had a lot of success. We had 40,000 kids in San Antonio take that anti-bully oath, and they wear that little tag,
That little red tag.
Juan
has it,
Juan wears it everywhere he goes, man. That's proud.
Juan Vergara comedian. Shout out to Juan.
Yeah, hey Juan, but Juan has been one of our biggest advocates. He's out there wearing this tag, and it's a symbol that you're here to stop hate, man, and you're not going to fight. You're not going to be a bully.
Are you still doing those rallies?
I haven't done a rally since
it's
the
the pandemic?
Yeah, but I'm gearing up again slowly. When school districts open again next year, they're going to allow us
I
to go
think
back.
school's going to be back fully again next year, man.
next year.
In Texas, at least.
We're going to hit it. We're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. So, and it's just been tough.
You need to team up with Human for Heroes.
Yeah.
My sister does the Human for
Oh,
Heroes.
I
It's a
didn't know
501c nonprofit.
Well, we need her.
She's does that. They actually have an event coming up pretty soon, I think. But my uncle Mike Hernandez, the meteorologist,
Yeah.
he's part of it too.
But tell Mike we need him out there in Pipe Creek. This is what I'm doing. June the 5th in Pipe Creek, Texas, I created a daddy-daughter date night. The idea is to take your daughter out on a date, live music. We're going to have a dinner catered by some country place out there. There's a country band that I hired to go out there and do it.
Why country?
It's country, man. You don't know country until you lived out in the country.
I know, but I don't.
But it's a country theme set up.
I can like live music, though.
I know.
No, shout out to country. But
No, country's, I've just recently moved out to Pipe Creek. So I'm from San Antonio, really my heart's here. But moving out to Pipe Creek, I tell you like how God works in mysterious ways. He put us out there right before the pandemic happened. We had no idea that we were going to leave San Antonio, the west side, and live on 5 acres of land, dude. I had no idea. And when
no one wanted you around.
Yeah, when God's good to you, man, he's really good to you.
He's like, get out
and
there.
and when you do good things in your life and your
get
family's
rewarded.
good, you get rewarded. And you don't ask for it; it just happens, man. And that's what happened to us. I give back to my community. Robert gave back to the community. My wife, she is the backbone of me and who I am, and she's my financial guru. She's the Dave Ramsey kind of person. She does it all. She knows all that stuff. And I'm not that person.
Dude. Yeah, she gets you motivated.
Yeah, she gets me motivated to do the right things, and we're a partnership. We're a team, man. So I'm excited. And I have, like I said, I have my son Tristan, and my daughter Caitlin, and we're living the life out there in Pipe Creek, bro. I still drive back and forth to work here in San Antonio. I work at Southwest Research, so it's a little commute.
Oh, you're a baboon now?
Yeah, I'm a baboon.
You-
No, I clean baboon cages.
He
dude.
paints
That's
his
what I
ass
do.
pink and just runs around in the cage. Dude.
So I drive back and forth, right? Listen. I drive back and forth. So you get that hour to
think,
think
just
about
clear
your
your
life
mind.
and what you're trying to do and how you make things work in the world. And we're just a small part of it, dude. When you think about it,
just
we're
a
like
little
have you ever
grain.
been to? This is the way I can put it together. Have you ever been to that Cowboy Stadium out there?
Yeah, not the new one. No,
Go-
no, the old
the
one.
new one. Go to
No.
the new one, and go to the very top row, and then look down, and then look at yourself. You're a pimple, dude.
You know
You're
what?
a little tiny drop,
You know what
a
made
pin
me
drop
feel smaller
in-
than that?
in this earth. What?
Being on a ship in the Navy in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
was
God,
just
that's
nothing. I was
yeah.
just just looking up. I remember
And the
in the middle,
stars.
just looking up at the stars in the middle of the night, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, on our way from Hawaii to the Philippines, and it's like I'm not. That's like
You're
we could be
nothing.
lost.
You're
Like this ship was
nothing,
never
yeah.
found again.
Yep.
We think we're in this giant ship, and we're just a speck of sand out
Yeah,
there, dude.
respect a sand, and that's our lifetime, dude. We're here just for an instant, and then we're gone, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Right now, we're just living the life, and I'm just trying to do the right things for my community
that-
and keep it going.
So you have an event coming up?
Yeah, June the 5th in Pipe Creek, Texas. It's the old Pipe Creek Dance Hall.
Uh huh.
It's the.
What do you have to
general
do
store.
to go to this? What's
It's what we're doing. I have to pay for the hard cost. It's the hard cost of the venue and stuff like that. I got to raise like $4,000.
So you're doing something before that?
Well,
raise
I'm trying to
money?
get sponsors to pay for it, but we're
Okay.
we're charging $25 for per person
Uh-huh.
to go in, and that's the dad and the daughter. So,
So
it's
that's
$50.
$50.
$50 for the dad and the daughter, but you're gonna get a catered meal. You're gonna get live music. We're gonna give raffles out.
Hey,
like
what if it's
bikes.
live music? We don't like. Do we get 25 back?
No, you don't. You still got to pay.
Okay.
The thing is, we got to cover the hard costs.
Yeah. No. So,
Yeah.
how if someone wants to donate or sponsor this, how would they get a hold of
They
you? to do
just
this?
get a hold of me, man. You got to call me
Well,
at 210-863-6164. Or I just actually set up an email address today. Reach out to me. It's called PC. It's PC Daddy Date Night at yahoo.com. Just send me an email. Tell me how you want to participate. And, anything will help us out. Any kind of sponsorship will help us out.
That's cool, man.
It could be dollars. It could be products that you want to give out. Because, like I said, we're going to give out raffles. I went to one here in San Antonio, and I took my daughter, and she loved it. So I wanted to do something out there for the community out in Pipe Creek and Bandera and Bernie.
And this is just the bully free, and you tell your brother's story and all
right,
that too,
right,
right?
It's part of the Bully Free campaign, but it was more of the community. What I wanted to do, I wanted to add the flavor of just giving back to the community and taking care of our little girls, man. Nobody else is going to do it but us.
Another thing, I know that they just before we get out of here, I want to touch on that. They just released that documentary about Robert. How does someone find that?
Man, if you go to Facebook, One Chance, that's the name of the documentary, One Chance. You can go back, and I go back all the time in my mind about Robert and some of the things that he would tell us. And we had a videotape of him talking to Joe Lopez about him being a world champion. He goes, "Hey, man, I only got one chance to do this." So Joe Lopez wanted to stop the fight at the world championship fight when he was in Sunderland, England. And it was like the 4th round, and Robert was getting hit hard. And Joe said, "Man, if you stop this fight, this is the only chance I get. I got one chance to win this." Boom. And that's the title of the fight, the movie, the documentary. But the documentary, you would have to reach out to Raymond Ramos on Facebook. He is the director. He did it for free, man. He helped me out, put this whole documentary together. It's an hour long, but it goes from the beginning of his boxing career. My mom's on it. I'm on it. Rick Lopez is on it. Henry Puppy
I
Tacos.
saw the trailer.
Yeah, you saw the trailer. So we got some good people talking about, Robert Quiroga, who he was as a person before boxing and then after boxing. And then, of course, the tragedy at the end. And then what we're doing with his legacy to keep his name alive, with the SA Bully Free campaign.
Okay, so they can find it on Facebook?
You can find it on Facebook. It's Raymond Ramos. It's how you do it. Facebook/Raymond Ramos.
It's on the Raymond Ramos. If you
Yeah,
need any kind
Raymond Ramos, and I'll get you that information, or you can hit me up 210-863-6164.
Are you on Facebook still?
I'm still on Facebook, Instagram.
Okay. Epi
Parlor. I'm on
Quiroga.
Parlor as well.
On Parlor Grinder. You can look him up on Grind.
No Parlor.
No.
No Parlor, no Grinder. No, but
also on Tarzan Culebra.
he has DVDs. I had some, and I'm a giver, and I ended up giving a lot away. And he's just trying to get some money back for the hard cost that he had to spend to produce this. He had people, a staff, so he has about maybe 200 DVDs.
Okay.
So I think they're $20 each, and he'll take it to you, drop it off, or he'll mail it to you.
Okay. Well, nice, man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, man. It's been great talking to you, bro. You're doing good things, dude. Proud of
Thank
you,
you,
bro.
brother. Thank
Good
you.
seeing you, man. I miss you. Love you. We got to hang out some more, dude.
Yeah, we have to, man. And then just to go back a little bit, man, and I don't want to kind of draw this out pretty long. You know, I did go to BRCC. I did go to church. You know, like I told you before, I mean, I'm not going to throw the Bible at anybody. I know right from wrong. You know, sometimes I still stumble and fall, but I don't fall like I used to. I used to trip and fall and hit my head, but I've learned how to live my life right. According to other people's, not to according to my wants and my needs, but to God's wants and God's needs. And you know, I wish a lot of other people did that in our community to make changes in their lives because God's out there and He's real.
Well, that's good, man. If you have anything you want to say to Epi, I'm sure he'll talk to you. Reach out to him.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Peace.
Thank you.